everybody, welcome to Marvel Rivals. Today we're looking at Flats from Overwatch. Been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals, been around for a couple of seasons, and I just wanted to kind of learn from him. I'm someone that's kind of pursuing tank gameplay in general, and as someone who wants to cast at the highest level for Marvel Rivals, I wanted to spend some time studying his gameplay. So here we go, right at the very beginning, leading his team into victory, playing Magneto, as you can see here. I love this approach to grabbing the high ground, something that you don't normally see at lower elos, but you can see the firepower that you're allowed to have, right? Very commanding here in the front line, looking around, trying to pressure out the opposing team when it comes to their main tank. To be fair, there's nothing really much for him to hit across the screen that he can maybe get a kill for. Oh, but he sees his Punisher going for a flank on the kill there, so he helps out. Great awareness here. I was unaware of how aware of his surroundings Flats is. I mean, you can really tell that he plays these types of games. So, we see him stepping up already as they move the objective. Here, you want to start getting on the damage on whatever tank is coming your way, and it looks like he starts to get the Venom. And in fact, turns around to focus the Venom. I like this play, mostly because he knows that he has a few seconds before the opposing team will get here. Gets this thing as low as he possibly can. They do find the pickoff. However, that Venom should be back relatively soon due to there being a Rocket Raccoon. Yeah, there he goes. He respawns back in. Flats playing these angles here, doing a good job of keeping an eye on this tank. Probably keeping an ear out for anyone that's using an ultimate ability and turning around on them. Yes, he does. Dude, so well played, man. What a great situation for him to be in here. Okay, so playing around the ultimate for Rocket Raccoon. Focus down the other Rocket ult. Smart. Clear that out quickly so you can get rid of all the damage application, the shielding as well. That ultimate is kind of a nuisance. Nice on Squirrel Girl from across the corner. And then once he realizes that his team's in a pretty good spot so far, he goes straight for the back line, aiming for a support. Keeping an eye on his Punisher. It may have overstepped, but the thing is, he does have his ultimate available. He goes straight into the air right again, goes down to 100 HP, goes for the snipe. Okay, Flats. Dude, he is locked in on this game so far. All right. So they grab the first point, and the first point's usually one of the hardest on this map. Things get a little bit easier here on phase 2 if you're able to grab the objective. Straight up running into this choke here, trying to shut down their opponents, going straight for the Squirrel Girl. Love that. She is the one with all the damage here, right? And as long as he's able to shield out any acorns coming his way, he should be able to watch out for that CC. That will give him a few seconds of space available to him. And I like them already working on clearing this thing out here. Getting the shots off so he can go up on the high ground. Is that the plan? Is he going to go up there or stay with the payload? Okay, looks like he stays down here on the payload, then comes over here on the right. I love the pressure he puts on the opposing tanks, man. Very impressive so far. Just use a bubble on himself. Ooh, Punisher comes in for a flank behind. I like how he steps up here. He sees the Punisher going for the ult on the flank, so he steps up to try and grab their attention. Luna Snow will counter with an ultimate herself, but this does allow for them to move up and keep grabbing that space here. Poking safely. His healers are just doing such a great job. My gosh. I want to play with these healers. Jeez. Good combo so far. Aiming for the back line there. I would probably be trying to hit the Punisher here, but he's actually focusing down the Rocket Raccoon ultimate, which seems to be the main focus for anyone nowadays at a high level. Finally, they will clear it out. Luna Snow will make sure they heal through it. They turn around and isolate this group. He uses the right click to push the group into his team to ensure they get the kill. Shields are coming out. Bubble on bubble action. He wishes he had his ultimate, but doesn't even need it right now. Opposing Magneto gets stuck in a weird choke, and he turns around at the right time. I like now that he isn't using his ultimate. He already knows this fight is won, so saving this for the next engagement is always a good play in itself. In fact, his team right now has 3 ultimates between Magneto, Hela, and Bucky. I don't watch his stream. Does anyone know? Is he playing with people that he knows? Or is he just kind of like fitting in the team comp as a solo queuer at the moment? Because it looks like they're really synergistic, especially with the Punisher. The Punisher player has been really just in sync with him. It's almost like they're in comms or something. What's his name? Daltouche? All right. I stream on my own, so I don't ever get to watch flat streams. That's why I'm doing this replay analysis. If you guys actually have any content creators in Marvel Rivals that I should be watching and learning from, please let me know. I would love to do some videos. I'm also trying to become a full-time caster for this game as well. Running into a couple of things we're going to be announcing soon to do said casting. Big Magneto ult. I love how he goes down to 100 HP, drops the ultimate, because you're pretty much safe at that point, right? As long as you manage the ball well enough. Clears out the Squirrel Girl ult, a huge priority. Couple of good shots, and with the help of his Punisher, they cleared up pretty quickly. Now they just have to get around this corner here. Punisher is set up and locking it down. He does have a shield. Solid. Great damage into his own bubble shield, playing around those cooldowns perfectly. He will have them up again in about 7 seconds, but Luna Snow will enable his whole team to move forward. Try to focus down the Squirrel Girl, which is always a good call. Man, great tracking, dude. You know, like some content creators, like, you know, they're not always locked in or might not really care too much or care about the entertainment. Like, Flat seems to really have the skills to back it up. I can see why he's very popular to watch. Okay, so there is good news here. They do have 2 minutes to push in and finish out the objective. The only thing is I'm a bit worried. If you look at the opposing team, they have 2 ultimates with Luna Snow and Groot already set up. They can use that to win 1 team fight, while we currently have the attacking team of Flat trying to build up their ultimates. They did just get Rocket Raccoon and Bucky, which of course are a great synergy in themselves. Groot gets left into the corner. Great job from Bucky. Oh, but the saves coming in from the supports will be just enough, and J3 actually wastes his ultimate. 2 people wiped and a 3rd as well. Time is starting to tick, but Flash is close to his ultimate, as well as Daltush, who have been doing a great job of working together. We'll see if they can get a breakthrough on this. Okay, moving the pokes here. Man, so aggressive on Magneto. I think one thing I'm learning here is I need to be stepping up a little bit more often and not being afraid, especially if I have my cooldowns, to take some damage. Even blowing through that bubble shield there. 85% on the ultimate. Probably waiting for the opposing Punisher to ult before he goes for his. Ooh, losing the rocket is going to be painful. It's 8 seconds that he's down. They can afford to maybe have 1 more death now, and then they gotta lock in. Punisher ult comes out. Squirrel Girl hits the acorns. On the back line, decides to save his ultimate here. I don't think he's gonna spend it. Yeah, pulls back for the healing here. Gosh, what awareness. All ultimates being saved just to make sure they can win the next team fight. Their opponents did use a few ultimates themselves, so they should have the ult economy in their favor, but can they crush this here? This 3rd point can be so difficult to get around, right? Hella going down. Dude, the acorn nuts are just flying. Look how many nuts are just exploding. Oh my god, Luna, don't die. Okay, now they gotta move in. 30 seconds. Okay, 4 reloads coming in. His right click available on Magneto. Waiting. Trying to farm up these ults. 13 seconds. Okay, they gotta start going. Shields go up. Flat does have his ultimate. 1 member does get picked off. Gonna respawn though, thanks to Rocket Raccoon. Rocket dropping down his ultimate. Luna Snow dancing. Flash does have his ult. Squirrel Girl coming out of their ult as well. Magneto will counter with a bonk himself. Does take out 2 people. And Flash is getting to a point here where he may have to drop his ult, but he's trying to take the opportunity here while he has health to stay alive. There comes the amplifier from Rocket. They turn around, okay, and they clear out 5. But the problem is, they do need to get this payload straight around the corner here. I like Flash's positioning. He steps up, wants to start putting some damage on them, force them to use some resources before they back out. He has an ultimate if he needs to save himself. Shots continue for the opposing team. Groot does have an ultimate. I do like, yeah, Punisher's positioning as well. He's in the top left corner. Gives him a lot of height. Okay. Here comes the blue team. Pouring out of the front line. Infinite ammo for the Punisher. But they don't need to worry about it. They find a pick-off. Flash now goes up. Goes for his own combo. Magneto bubble to counter it. Smart there. Good trade-off. You can really tell you're playing on a high level. Jeez. Nice. But Bucky comes in and gets the reset. Takes out Daltush. Members starting to fall 1 by 1, 2 down, potentially a 3rd as FaZe trying to poke here with Luna Snow, but Flats is leading the charge with his team. They easily grab the objective. Okay. I feel like I learned a lot there from Flats. Did he even die, by the way? Let's look at his stats here real quick. I think he had 2 deaths. He had 3 deaths. Okay. Staying alive, holding the front line, playing around cooldowns, a lot of patience, especially towards the end there. They literally waited 45 seconds, didn't feed an ultimate to the opposing team, and scored the ult there. That was cool to watch. All right, we are now on defense here with Flats and his team. They're going to have to hold against this blue push coming their way. Going for the high ground once again. something that a lot of people, especially at lower elos, can figure out. I think I'm around like Diamond GM right now, and I feel like a lot of people are not using high ground as much as they should. This lobby feels so much more sweaty. High ground gives you a lot of control, as you're able to look down on your opponents, but also back up and use it for cover on the fly, right? Flats kind of gets ran down there. However, Rocket Raccoon will be able to help him out. Team is a bit split here. While he does have the high ground, he's trying to get some damage, but he finds himself in a weird spot where he drops down on the opposing team. We do have some heals trying to come in from Nora, but she's not able to get through the walls, and with the walls walling out, we see defense not looking too good for Flats in this team here. Definitely seems like they were kind of split up a little bit, and then with Flats being on top of the high ground, the rest of the team kind of got ran over. With it being said, they are currently running one tank, so things are kind of hard for Flat, right? By the way, can I say Flat or is it Flats with an S all the time? I actually don't know. Okay, everyone's pulling back and grabbing around this corner here. Okay, that makes sense. You want to try to hold this right choke while you wait for Rocket to come back. And then if you can, take that high ground if you want to hold this area. But typically, you see where we're looking right now, that is probably one of the best defender spot. You have a ramp that's coming in down to you. While they can shoot down on you, you have kind of areas that you can kind of splash damage on top of, and you have a weird flank on the right side as well that you can do. Ooh, Jay goes in for a poke on the group, pulls him to a corner. Great follow-up from the rest of the team. Yo, this J3 guy is pretty solid. I'll have to keep an eye on him. There's a lot of good players in this lobby. Okay, so they do find one pick. Flat comes on in. There is a flak once again coming in from Daltush. Bucky goes in for a reset for the again. Does not get the kill, but the opposing Bucky does come in. Pulls back on the Invisible Woman ult and plays safe for now. He's already gotten the one kill, so he's feeling pretty happy about that. A 65 is always great in hero shooters. Squirrel Girl gets her ultimate off in the back. I like how Flats always tries to turn around and get some damage on that. Magneto has a solid primary attack that will make sure that you get that. Luna Snow goes for a ult on the heal, but I think it was slightly off on the timing, and it just wasn't enough. Okay, Nora. Heals finish up. It looks like a couple more ults have been popped. One from Rocket, and it was well from the Punisher. Flats is on his way back to the team. But when you're in these scenarios where you're forced to solo tank, things can be really, really rough. And if any of your DPS get picked off, like you're seeing here, it can be hard for you to get in there. He runs in, though, strong and in charge, drops down the bubble, has his ultimate, but it's just taking too much damage, decides not to pull it off. Saving it for a later time. Keeping that ult economy in his favor. And he saw a couple of his teammates get picked off, right? So what's the point of wasting an ultimate when you're not going to be able to hold the defense by yourself anyways, right? This isn't gold. You're not going to get a 4-man ult. But I will say the opposing team is attacking much faster, which is looking a bit bad for going into overtime. The time advantage can be massive, but it's something that Flats and crew can't worry about too much. I like him taking this left angle, by the way. Like, he was over here on the left side. What this does, it cuts off the angles from here and the middle and forces him to come out into a choke, which his team, you can't quite see it, but they're on the back right, shelling into these chokes, so that means he's going to take a lot of unnecessary damage if they come out, but they will also get punished for it, right? So holding his left side allows for him to overextend in a sense, but also be safe. Big ult comes out, looking for the healers. Goes for his snipe, went for the invisible one there, almost nailed it. Pretty clever, going for the splash damage around the corner. Even if you don't get the kills there, at least you're keeping the healers away from the fight. Couple of resets trying to come in here from J3. He finds 1 and 2. Can he find a third? Looking like probably not. Can't quite see him on my screen. Looks like he did finally get it. 4 picked off. Luna Snow poked into a corner here. And 5 picked off. Okay, so now they gotta sit here and hold this down for 4 minutes. They do have 2 ultimates for defense, and this choke right here in the middle is probably one of the best areas for Magneto. Shelling down, keep an eye on this Punisher, make sure he won't get picked off by any poke coming his way. And then when you step up here, you start building up your ultimate. There we go, good poke. Man, he is very good at the aim on this character. Wow, look at that. Got a good sense for pacing here. Man, I need to watch the Overwatch gameplay. I wasn't really a fan of Overwatch, but I don't know how it's going over there for him in first person versus third person, right? Good kill on Squirrel Girl. Melee goes to the supports here. He knows there's a Bucky in the back. Turns around once he hears the ultimate. Amplifier coming out from Rocket to ensure they get the defense. However, there was an ultimate coming out from the opposing side as well, so they look like they want to fight here. They step up and start building up their ultimates. Luna Snow begins her 12 seconds of healing for her entire team. Good news for Flats, though, is he is about to have an ultimate, and knowing that his opposing team has no supports, he might be able to go for it if he decides he wants to grab it. Here, Magneto comes in from the opposing Magneto. He decides to hold on to his ultimate, probably just wanting to make sure that he can lock down the DPS on the opposing side. Finally, he goes up against low on HP. Goes for the snipe, takes out Bucky. I like him looking around constantly. It makes it hard to be like, all right, who's getting focused down? So they can't call it out or play defensive. What a weird position. He's like behind the two tanks, but also watching the DPSs. Kites backward. I think this might be it for him. Yeah, gets a little bit sectioned out. Groot and Magneto did a good job. Kind of the advantage of him having two tanks, right? Versus the one here for his team. Dude, solo taking is so hard. It really is. Impressed what I'm seeing, though. Respawn came in just in time. Thanks to Rocket. All right, Holt has been fired. Multiple ults being used. Even Summit on the Hela dropping their ult. Trying to see Jin. Could have been too much here. They're not getting any takedowns. In fact, they lose one of their own members. Jay gets picked off. And now Mr. Raffle on Rocket's getting low. Are they going to be able to get this in? He goes for the flank on the back. He's going to go at the last second and drop in. Just trying to buy time here. Has bubble in a second here. He gets the bubble off. Luna still with the heals. Bought as much time as he could. Team is respawning in, but it's just not enough. They tie 3-3, and we're going to overtime. Okay, so Flats and crew will be on offense for the start of this fight. Immediately go up for the high ground once again. But it seems like the opposing team is fully aware of it. They're not even trying to contest. You see how they set up across the map here on the side? God, it's the small things, right? I love high-level strategy. I love finding the advantages and how to utilize them. Flats and Groot currently in a one-on-one battle here. Looks like the trade is going in favor of Flats, actually, and he still has his shields as well. One thing I'm learning, too, with Magneto is, like, I usually pop my bubble here around, like, 400, 500 HP, and Flats just holding it down to 100 HP. Like, he just goes for the raw damage instead. Isn't trying to hit the perfect right clicks or get more shield built for him. He's putting himself in a situation where he continues to have his attacks off, and he knows he has the help of his supports. Ooh, nice clean kill there. In terms of stats right now, let's look at it. Flats, 36, 9, and 2. Solid damage as well, matching a few of his tanks, or DPSers. And keeping the damage blocked up, 50k right now. Okay, Portal comes out. Whole team jumping out in the front. Immediate splash damage around the corner there. Nice shots. Does look like Daltush will get picked off, but he should be back thanks to Rocket. Flats coming around the corner. This Portal looking like it was more of a death trap here. Groot's getting really low, and honestly, the opposing Luna Snow is doing everything she can to keep it alive, but Jay is tired of it. He goes for a setup, and I like the focus fire. Always putting damage on the targets of Jay, trying to ensure that he's getting those resets. Overtime full link kick right now. As long as someone is on that point, that overtime progress bar is not going to go down. And Flats is able to push on through it. Look at this. He's creating so much space right now. Just moving in, and he knows he doesn't have to worry about a flank going in the opposite direction because the portal was down from Doctor Strange they used. If they do switch to a DPS, they should be fine with the supports back there helping him out. He just wants to get up here and start staggering deaths. Nice! One pick off, a second pick off, goes for the melee for the kill, which I don't hate there. Some heals came in at the last second to be clutch, but he gets the kill anyways. Dude, look at this aggression, man. The overtime is getting low, though. I'm actually wondering if someone got on the back line and got on that objective, or if the support just kind of got off of it to come heal. Yeah, that payload is super back there. That is super back there. Was there a bit of a mistake here?
I am ready to put on a show.
I wonder who got off the point. There must have been some aggression that came in. Surely a high-level player would not just like leave the point and waste that progress bar. Okay, ult's coming out from Invisible Woman and as well as Luna Snow, which means they're gonna have to wait this out for 12 seconds. Magneto goes up, dunks down the bottom, looking for their own kill, but Luna Snow's able to get off the ult, keep up the heals. Here's a Bucky ult, staying alive. No major ults coming in, but using his shield should be enough to keep him alive. Tries to keep his healer alive, and that should be it. They get a good progress of 4 and about, what, 3/4 of the way there? Let's see how they do on defense. Okay, so Flats is on defense here, automatically trying to stop the dam from flowing. Playing around this corner, peeking, jiggle peeking. A very strong trait in a lot of shooters. Great in Marvel Rivals, thanks to the third person. I love that every time that he uses his shields, he immediately starts moving to the left and finds a wall of corner, just instinctively. Unless he knows he has a number advantage, in which he pushes forward instead. Good poke so far. It's holding the chokes, using Groot's wall against him. The angle that he's taking this fight here too is letting him poke, but also cutting off the angles from the DPSs that are hanging out in the back left corner. Finally, we'll pull out thanks to the Invisible Woman ult. Wants to make sure you don't have to deal with that slow and the damage coming in. Although it looks like it was just a bit too much as he got ran down by the opposing team. Meanwhile, 3 of his teammates are down at the moment. So Flats and crew are going to have to reset. I think at this point it's really good just to be like, all right, everyone reset. Let's set up here, move forward. We are in overtime mode, so let's make sure we're all grouped. In terms of ultimates, Punisher has his available as well as Bucky. There aren't any healer ults available for his team yet, but they are close, 60%. Looks like they may be able to move in here and slow down this objective here. Shield comes out. 8 seconds for Bubble. He's trying to kite to the left here. I love that. He like tries to pull them away from the rest of his team. They don't bite, but I like the objective attempt. Overtime is fully kicked in. Team is just moving forward here. Flats is trying to stay on the point to the best of his ability. Attempting to buy as much time. He slows it down slightly, but his team does get wiped, and now they're going to have to set up for the next defense. And right now, it's all about wasting time, right? You don't care about staying alive. You don't even care about dying, which is probably the same sentence being said. What you do care about is time being wasted. And there he wasted about 10, 12 seconds. 25 seconds and counting. The team is marching towards the point that they made it.
You're halfway there. Keep going.
Everyone resetting up, trying not to take any poke damage. They don't give any ult cooldowns to their opposing team. God, I love seeing this. This is so cool. I need to mix this into my gameplay. I think I'm so, like, kill heavy, right? These situations of patience are so massive. Tens comes in for a combo, tries to lock it down on the front line. Flat steps forward, has the ult coming in from Rocket Raccoon, goes for the bonk, tries to find a target, goes for a healer, gets one down to low HP. She dodges it just barely, tries to go finish it off, but can't quite get it. The healers have countered away, 4 now, and recap each other up. Invisible Woman ult coming out as well. Luna Snow on his team is about to lose her healing. He pops the shield at the last second to stay alive, has one more to pop up. Kites over to the left here, comes to the back point, has to make sure to get there. Oh my gosh, it's so close. Can he hold it? He's getting low on HP. The heals aren't enough. We do have Jay come in, setting up for a couple of resets here. Mr. Y or Raffle is trying to help out as well. But I think the number advantage is folding too quickly into favor of the blue team, and it looks like Flats and crew are going to take an L. But man, I learned a lot in that game, and I gotta say, I think Flats is pretty good at Marvel Rivals. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below if there's anyone else I should be watching or keeping an eye on, or if you want to see more Flats content.